In my former class, while attending about mutation, I was describing one type of mutation called chromosomal mutation. Before I said about gene mutation and about chromosomal mutation, any change in the structure or the number of chromosomes is called the chromosomal mutation. Now, chromosomal mutations are in turn classified into two patterns. One, the chromosome aberrations, and the other, genomatic mutations. Now, in the earlier section, I was referring to the types of chromosome aberration, where I said one, deletion. So, one type of chromosome aberration is deletion. I said deletion is also called deficiency. Deletion is also called deficiency. Now, in deletion or deficiency, a section of the chromosome separates and gets lost. As a result, the chromosome loses some of the genes from the linkage group and becomes shorter. Now, say we can diagrammatically represent using a diagram. We can denote this type of chromosome aberration called deletion. Now, here is a chromosome. Now, this is the chromosome. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Now, this is the chromosome, and these are the genes, existing genes present, forming a linkage group. Now, in this type of chromosome aberration, a segment of the chromosome separates and lost. Say here, this segment of the chromosome separates and it gets lost. So now the chromosome will have this chromosome will have A, B, C, but D is being lost, and you have this E, and the rest of the part remains same. So this segment of the chromosome separates and lost. So as a result, the chromosome loses this gene and it becomes shorter. So this is one type of chromosome aberration called deletion or deficiency. Now, second, duplication. So, another form of chromosome aberration is duplication. Now, in this type of aberration, a segment with few genes separates and joins the other chromosome which forms its homologue in a pair of homologous chromosomes. So, as a result, the homologous chromosome which receives this segment will have duplication of the genes present there, and this type of aberration is called duplication. Again here, this is the chromosome. This is the chromosome. These are the genes. These are the, say, segments. Now here, this part of the chromosome separates and joins the other similar chromosome called its homologue, forming a pair of homologous chromosomes. So this is one chromosome. In this chromosome, this segment, it has been separated and it will join. It will join. This is the another chromosome which is its homologue, and these two form a pair of chromosomes. And here, these portions, A and B already there, and C and D earlier, and this segment again joined this. So these two segments will again repeat. Again C and D. And this is the E part. So here, this segment has been doubled. This part, it appears twice. So these two form a pair of homologous chromosomes, identical chromosomes, and this segment of the chromosome separates and joins with its homologue. And as a result, this homologous chromosome receiving this segment will have the C and D regions get duplicated, get doubled, appear twice. And this is another form of chromosome aberration, and this is called duplication. Now, one more is inversion. One more type of chromosome aberration is inversion. Now, in this type, a segment of the chromosome gets separated and rejoins, joins again the same chromosome by reversing itself, by rotating itself by 180 degree. The segment that has been separated it rejoins after a reverse. So a small segment of the chromosome gets separated and again rejoins the same chromosome by reversal. Now see here, this is the same chromosome. Now this chromosome now in this chromosome, say this part, B, C and D, this gets separated and this will rotate and again rejoins. So as a result here, this segment first separates, rotates, becomes reverse and again rejoins. So after this change in the structure, see this A will remain as it is. A will be remaining as it is. But this B, C and D, this will get rotated. So you will get first D, C and B. So here you have D, C, B, and then E. So this region, B, C, D, this part, this segment, this fragment separates, rotates and rejoins. So as a result here you have, after this change in the morphology or structure, the chromosome will have A first, then D, C and B, and then as usual E, and after that you have the rest of the part of the chromosome, F, G, H. So this type of change in the morphology of the chromosome is called inversion. And last one here is translocation. Translocation, another form of chromosome aberration, and in this type of chromosome aberration, two chromosomes are involved, two chromosomes are concerned. But in the earlier three instances, that is in deletion, duplication and inversion, single chromosome is involved, and hence these three are grouped as intrachromosomal aberrations. Aberration of the chromosome involving a single chromosome. But in translocation, two chromosomes are involved, and these two chromosomes are non-homologous. Non-homologous chromosomes. What do you mean by non-homologous chromosomes? Chromosomes which belong to different pair in a diploid chromosomal configuration. So here translocation a form of chromosome aberration where two non-homologous chromosomes are engaged, two non-homologous chromosomes are concerned. Now, in a translocation, from one chromosome, a segment gets separated, a segment gets lost, and this segment, after separation from one chromosome, it joins another non-homologous chromosome. The former chromosome is the donor chromosome that will lose a segment of it, and the other non-homologous chromosome which receives it is the recipient. So after such structural change in two non-homologous chromosomes, the donor losing a segment, hence loses some of the genes from its linkage group, and it becomes shorter than the normal. The other non-homologous chromosome which receives the segment from the former, this non-homologous chromosome which is a recipient here, it will receive the segment from the other chromosome, as a result of which this chromosome gains some genes and it becomes larger than the normal. Now, apart from this, there may be reciprocal interchange of segments between two non-homologous chromosomes, and such type of translocation is called reciprocal translocation. Reciprocal translocation. Now, what I said before, in translocation, changes in the morphology of the two non-homologous chromosomes is involved. So one will lose its segment, another will gain. So in addition to this, translocation may also involve interchange of segments, reciprocal change of their segments between two non-homologous chromosomes, and this is called reciprocal translocation. Now, in this reciprocal translocation, see, we shall consider two chromosomes. Say this is one chromosome having these segments. Now, this is one chromosome. Now, here is another chromosome. This is another chromosome. Now, these two are not similar, hence they are non-homologous chromosomes. Now, here, between these two non-homologous chromosomes, the segments are reciprocally interchanged. Now, here, this part A and B, this will get separated, and here M and O, this part gets separated, and these two are interchanged. So here, after this reciprocal interchange reciprocal translocation. So in place of AB, you will have M and O. So here we will have, in place of A and B, here you have M and O. After AB, instead of AB, here M and O. And C, D, E, F, G, H will remain as it is. So here this chromosome, it has received this part and lost this AB part. So therefore now, after this reciprocal interchange of the segments, in place of AB you will have M and O, and then C, D, E and others will remain same. Now what about the other non-homologous chromosome after this reciprocal interchange? In place of M and O, you will have AB. So here you have A and B. So in place of M and O, there will be AB and the rest will remain same. So here you have P and Q as it is, and after that you have the other segment, namely R. Now this is one more type of chromosomal aberration, change in the structure of the chromosome. So here, these two are non-homologous chromosomes. These two chromosomes belong to the different pair in a chromosomal configuration in a diploid number. So here there will be reciprocal interchange of segments, and after reciprocal interchange of segments, these two non-homologous chromosomes will become like this. So this type of translocation is called reciprocal translocation. So these are the different patterns of what are called chromosome aberrations, and such chromosome aberrations, changes in the morphology of the chromosomes, will make the change, cause the change in the chromosome, and such changes in the structure of the chromosome is a type of chromosomal mutation, that is chromosome aberrations. Another pattern of chromosomal mutations are genomatic mutations. Genomatic mutations. Now, genomatic mutations refer to changes in the number of chromosomes. Any change in the number of the chromosomes also is a kind of mutation. So such mutations which involve change in the number of the chromosomes is called genomatic mutations. Now genomatic mutations, there are of two types. There are two types of genomatic mutations, changes in the number of the chromosomes. Now one is aneuploidy. One type of genomatic mutation is aneuploidy. The aneuploidy is also called heteroploidy. Aneuploidy is also called heteroploidy. Now, aneuploidy or heteroploidy is a condition where there is either a loss or gain of chromosome from the diploid number. So, in a diploid number of chromosomes in an organism, if there is either deletion, loss, or addition or extra chromosome appearing, this type of chromosome mutation is called aneuploidy or heteroploidy. So, from the diploid number, so always the diploid number is given as 2n. So, from this diploid number, if there is a loss of one or more chromosomes, or if there is addition of extra chromosome, one or more extra chromosomes, then the chromosome number gets altered, and such type of chromosome mutation is called aneuploidy or heteroploidy. The aneuploidy or heteroploidy is caused due to a process called non-disjunction, non-separation. Now, during gamete formation, as you remember, the gamete formation among sexually reproducing organisms, the gamete formation is by meiotic division. And during a meiotic division, see, the homologous chromosomes will pair and then they segregate, they separate. But after pairing, if they fail to separate, after pairing during meiosis of gamete formation, the two homologous chromosomes which have paired, they fail to segregate, they fail to repel, they fail to separate. And when the two homologous chromosomes which have paired and form a bundle called a bivalent, but later they fail to separate, and this is called non-disjunction, non-separation. So, as a result of which, the gametes that are being produced at the end, some will have one extra chromosome and some will have one loss of chromosome. And such aberrant combination of chromosomes in the gamete, when they are fertilized by the gamete of the other sex with the normal haploid number of chromosomes, the zygote or the new individual will be produced either with the loss of chromosome, deletion of one chromosome, or with an extra chromosome. This is how aneuploidy or heteroploidy occurs. This condition of aneuploidy or heteroploidy takes place. Now, the example for aneuploidy or heteroploidy are the following. One, trisomy, trisomic, trisomic. Now, this is the condition where there is one extra chromosome, that is 2n plus 1. So, in addition to the diploid chromosome number 2n, there is an addition of one chromosome. So, as a result here, a particular chromosome, here a particular chromosome becomes triple a particular chromosome appears in 3 number, but usually in a diploid number, every type of chromosome should be present in 2 number, in pair. But instead of a pair of chromosomes in a particular chromosome, instead of 2 chromosomes, there may be 3 chromosomes, so 1 extra chromosome. So that is 2n plus 1. So this is called trisomic. Another tetrasomic. Tetrasomic, that is 2n plus 2. A particular chromosome will be present in 4 copies. A given chromosome in a diploid number, instead of usual 2 chromosomes, there may be 4 copies of same chromosome. So that is 2n plus 2, 2 extra chromosomes. And this is called tetrasomic. Then monosomic. Monosomic. Now here, there is a loss of 1 chromosome from diploid number. So that is 2n minus 1. So 1 chromosome from a pair, it has been lost. So in this pair, there is only 1 chromosome. The other chromosome which forms a pair, it is missing. So therefore here, the chromosome number is 2n minus 1. 1 chromosome is less from the diploid number. This is called monosomic. And one more here is nullisomic. Nullisomic. Now nullisomic is both the chromosomes from a pair are being lost. That is 2n minus 2. So 2n minus 2, that is both the chromosomes from a pair, they are being totally absent, lacking. So here the chromosome number becomes 2n minus 1. So this is called nullisomic. So in these 2 cases, there will be addition, extra 1 or 2 chromosomes. And here it is called, here there will be loss of 1 or 2 chromosomes. So this is often called hyperaneuploidy. So these 2 are aneuploidy, where the chromosome number is more than the diploid. And hence these 2, trisomic and tetrasomic, they are often called hyperaneuploidy. So remember here, hyperaneuploidy. What do you mean by hyperaneuploidy? Aneuploid condition with addition of extra chromosomes to the diploid number. So here trisomic and tetrasomic, there will be addition of chromosomes to the diploid number, and hence it is called hyperaneuploidy. But in the other 2 instances, monosomic and nullisomic, where there will be loss of 1 or 2 chromosomes from the diploid number. So these 2, monosomic and nullisomic, they are often described as hypoaneuploidy. Hypoaneuploidy. So remember these 2 terms, hyperaneuploidy and hypoaneuploidy. So in either case, there will be either addition or deletion of chromosomes from the diploid number, and in the hyperaneuploidy, there will be addition of 1 or more. There may be extra chromosome, 1 or more to the diploid number, and in the hypoaneuploidy, there will be loss of 1 or 2 chromosomes from the diploid number. Hence, these 2 are hyperaneuploidy and these 2 are hypoaneuploidy. So this is one type of change in the chromosome number, one type of genomatic mutation called aneuploidy. The another type of genomatic mutation, is euploidy. Euploidy. The euploidy is also called polyploidy. So, other name for euploidy is polyploidy. Now, what is this euploidy or polyploidy? The euploidy or polyploidy is the condition where one or more sets of chromosomes are added to the diploid number. Now, to the diploid number, if extra sets of chromosomes, now in either case, in aneuploidy as well as in euploidy, we find a change or alteration in the chromosome number. But in this case, the alteration in the chromosome number is with regard to the individual chromosomes. So, an individual chromosome, a particular chromosome may be either added or it may be deleted. But in this case, the changes in the chromosome number, it is not due to alteration in the individual chromosome, but it is due to alteration in number of sets of chromosomes. Now, each set of chromosome, it is denoted as N. Now, N stands for one set of chromosomes. Now, one set of chromosomes, it is called haploid. Haploid or monoploid. This is one set of chromosomes. Now, this chromosome number, one set of chromosomes, n number of chromosomes, is true in the case of gametes of sexually reproducing organisms. So, always male and female gametes, eggs and sperms will carry only one set of chromosomes, haploid number of chromosomes, monoploid number of chromosomes. If there are two sets of chromosomes, 2n, this is called diploid. So, individuals, organisms, they are diploid. They have two sets of chromosomes. In other words, the different chromosomes present in them, they appear in pairs. So, whenever the chromosomes appear in pairs, when there are two sets of chromosomes, 2n number of chromosomes, it is called diploid. So, organisms are diploid, and the gamete they produce, they are haploid. If the chromosome number is beyond diploid condition, if the chromosome complement, if the chromosome number, if it exceeds 2n with regard to the number of sets of chromosomes, say 3n, 4n, etc., beyond 2n, the chromosome number is called polyploid. So, 3n, 4n, etc., they are called polyploid. So, what is polyploid? Polyploid is the chromosome number or the individual where the number of sets of chromosomes is more than two sets. So, normally the individuals will have two sets of chromosomes and hence they are diploid, denoted as 2n. But when more number of sets of chromosomes are being added here, that is when it becomes 3n, 4n, etc., then the chromosome number or the individual is called polyploid, and the condition is called polyploidy or euploidy. Now this euploidy, it is of two types. One, autopolyploidy. One type of euploidy or polyploidy is autopolyploidy. Now in polyploidy, in this condition, the number of sets of chromosomes is more than 2, but all the sets of the chromosomes here, they are similar, same. Now say each set of chromosomes is here indicated as A. So what is capital A? This is one set of chromosomes, that is n number of chromosomes. So if there is only one set, only A, it is haploid. If there are two sets, this is diploid. And if there are three sets, triploid. If there are four sets, tetraploid. So here, this is triploid, this is tetraploid. Triploid have three sets of chromosomes and tetraploid will have four sets of chromosomes. But here, not only the number of sets of chromosomes exceeds 2, more than 2, but all the sets of chromosome present here, they are same. And when that is the polyploid condition, such type of polyploid is called autopolyploidy. So this is autotriploid. This is autotetraploid. So these are the examples of autopolyploidy. Now such type of autopolyploidy is more common among economically important plants. Among economically important plants, we have this type of polyploidy called autopolyploidy. Now, this type of autopolyploidy, it is common in economically important plants. For example, banana, grapes, corn, marigold, snapdragon. So in all these economically important plants, this is true, what is called autopolyploidy. And another, allopolyploidy. Allopolyploidy. Now, allopolyploidy is the condition where hybridization of two species of individuals followed by duplication of the chromosome results in what is called autopolyploidy. In other words, in autopolyploidy, the chromosome number of sets of chromosomes is more than 2, but these sets of chromosomes, they are not same, but they are different. So when different sets of chromosomes are present together, exceeding the normal or usual diploid number, then the condition is called allopolyploidy. So how alloploid individuals are being produced? Now here they are being produced by hybridization of two species of individuals, then the chromosome number get doubled. You see here, there are two different species of individuals. One is capital A, another is capital B and capital B. So these two are diploid individuals. When these two species, when they are hybridized, one set of chromosomes from this parent and another set of chromosomes from this parent. So you get A and B. And this A and B combination will undergo duplication, doubling. When this undergoes duplication, you get A, B, B. So this is the new condition that has been produced here, and here the number of sets of chromosomes is 4, and hence this is a type of polyploidy. But in this polyploidy, all the sets are not same. There are two different sets of chromosomes are being brought here. So this is tetraploidy because there are 4 sets of chromosomes. So this is a tetraploidy. But this is tetraploidy like this, but both are not same. But this is tetraploid, and this is also tetraploid. But this tetraploid is autotetraploid, but this is allotetraploid. So this is allotetraploid or allopolyploid individual. So this is how the polyploidy can be discriminated into autopolyploidy and allopolyploidy. So this is an example for allopolyploidy, and such type of allopolyploidy is observed in some plants like wheat, American cotton, tobacco, etc. So in all these plants, the allopolyploidy is true. So that is about genomatic mutation. Now lastly, some details about mutagens. Mutagens are mutagenic agents. So what are mutagens or what are mutagenic agents? See, mutation is a random process. Mutation is a random process that occurs naturally, spontaneously in nature among living organisms, however, in low frequency. So mutation is a phenomenon that takes place naturally, spontaneously in nature among living organisms in low frequency. But certain outside factors, certain external factors, certain extracellular factors of both physical and chemical can induce mutation or can increase the frequency of mutation, and they are called mutagens or mutagenic agents. So what are mutagens or mutagenic agents? Any external factor, any outside factor, any extracellular factor, physical and chemical, that induces mutation or increases the frequency of mutation is called mutagen or mutagenic agents. Now these mutagens, they are of three types. Mutagens are of three types. One, radiations. Now high frequency radiations like X-rays, beta rays, gamma rays, ultraviolet rays, cosmic rays, they induce mutation among organisms. Second, temperature. Temperature also often induces mutation in organisms. And one more factor here is chemicals. So several chemicals such as colchicine, granosana, formaldehyde, etc., they cause mutation in organisms. So here, the external factors which induce mutation or increase the frequency of mutations among organisms, they are called mutagens or mutagenic agents, and these mutagenic agents, they are of three types: radiations, temperature, and chemicals. So this is an account on mutation, right? So remember here what are mutations and different types of mutations. And mutations include both spontaneous mutations as well as induced mutations.